Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name's Will, and today we're going to be doing another fishing related video. Today I'm going to teach you guys the two knots that you need to know if you're going to go fishing, and that is the uni knot and the double uni knot. These both they're basically the same knot. The double uni knot just utilizes the uni knot twice, and it's meant for line to line connection rather than line to hook connection. So yeah, I'm going to get a close shot of me tying these knots and explaining to you guys, and yeah, pay attention, grab some food, sit down, relax, and I'm going to teach you guys how to tie these two knots. I hope you guys enjoy the video. I just grabbed my terminal tackle box, so I'm going to grab a substantially sized hook so you guys can see visually a little bit better on what exactly I'm doing when I'm tying the knot. And I also got some, I think this is 15-pound braid, so braid you'll be able to see better than mono on camera, and it'll just allow you guys to see what I'm doing when I'm tying the knot, and I will walk you guys through the whole thing talking. So I'm just going to grab I'll just grab a 4/0 flipping hook. This is my go-to flipping hook. I like using EWG style hooks just because it lines up the worm better in my opinion than a worm hook does. So got that. And yep, I'll move the camera, get you guys a good angle just so you can see me tying these knots, and let's get started. So first thing I'm going to show you is how to do a line to hook connection. This is the most common knot you will need to know for fishing. When you got a hook and you're trying to tie it onto a piece of line, I'm using braid right now, but this knot will work for braid or mono. Only difference is for mono, you need to remember to moisten the knot before you cinch it down. Braid, you do not need to do that. But for demonstration purposes, I'm using braid today just so you can see it better. All right, well, first step, you're gonna take the line in your hand, tag end of the line, grab it right here, got your tag end, got your hook. You're gonna feed that tag end through the eye of the hook. So first step, just grab that tag end, pull it through, then you got your hook on your line, right? So give yourself some room to work with, and then you wanna bring that tag end up parallel with the main line, just like this. I've got my two ends, I've got my hook, and I'm just holding them right there, right? Now, this is the main key part of this knot. First thing you wanna do is give yourself some room to work with. So I got myself about maybe 4 inches of line on the tag end to work with. And what you want to do is you want to take that tag end, keep the main line straight, take your tag end. What I do is I'm going to take my fingers down on the hook right here, and I'm going to grab a line at the top of the hook just so I can secure that line right there, right? And then the next step is to take your tag end and you want to basically just loop it around like this. So I've got my main line coming straight, and then my tag end goes straight up, and then it curves back around over this. And then all you're gonna do is grab this tag end and you're gonna wrap it around these two lines. So I'm gonna grab this, got my two tag ends. Might be kind of hard for you guys to see. It's hard to demonstrate this on camera. I'm gonna fold it around just like that. Then I'm gonna grab the 3 lines in my finger right here, right? So now I've got the 3 lines held right there, and then all I'm gonna do is straighten this out. So I've got my main line, my tag line on these two, and then the tag on the bottom is making a loop. I'm gonna wrap the tag end around those 2 lines, but in between this loop. So it goes through the loop, right? So basically what I'm gonna do is grab this tag end. Hope you guys can see this. Grab the tag end, and I'm just gonna wrap. And wrap. And wrap. So I'm just gonna go around, depending on the line you're using is how many loops you wanna do. The lighter the line, the more you're gonna do. So if you're using, say you're using 20-pound test, you only need to do about 5 wraps. If you're using 10-pound, I would go closer to 7 or 8. I'm using 15-pound braid, so I'm gonna probably do about 7 or 8 wraps, and you're just gonna keep going around. All right, there's 7. So now I've got it. I went around 7 times. You can see it's all wrapped around it, right? And then all you're gonna do is pull this up, and you wanna make sure you keep all these lines straight when you're pulling it. Because if you don't keep those straight, then it's not gonna cinch down properly. But when you see what happens when you grab the main line, you start pulling on it, and you should see the line kind of cinch up and make a little loop around itself like that. And I'm pulling the tag end and keeping the main line straight to cinch that line up, right? And boom, it's cinched up. And once it has cinched up, you can see that on camera, there's a little wrap around the main line. Then you're just gonna take the main line and pull, and it should just slide right down all the way to the eye of the hook. And once it's done, it should look something like that. Now for the double uni knot. All right, so first step for the double uni knot, you wanna have both of your lines laid out straight and parallel to each other, just like this. I know it is hard to see the fluoro in the video. I will try my best to explain and demonstrate as I go through. First thing you wanna do is you wanna grab both of the lines, and this can get a little tricky, but first thing, I'm gonna start with the braid, and what you wanna do is you wanna grab the braid. I've got my braided main line here, and you're gonna take your fluoro leader and you wanna go up the line a couple inches. So I've got the end right here, and I'm gonna move up the line to about right here. So maybe give yourself 6 to 8 inches, say. And literally all you're gonna do is just tie a uni knot on to your leader line with the braid. So first thing I'm gonna do, start going here, and then I'm just gonna bring it backwards. And the key to this knot is that you wanna tie your uni knot going away from the knot. So I'm gonna have my double uni knot over here. So that means that I wanna tie this uni knot going this way so that it cinches that way, right? So when I take this line, I want to wrap it that way, away from the knot, right? So first step, like I said, is you make your loop, got my loop right here, and then I'm just gonna start wrapping. So I wrap around the leader line and the main line and go through that loop. And I'm gonna go around it about 7 times. So I'm wrapping. There, and now, same process as before. You're gonna cinch that knot down and make sure it comes down correctly, just like that. And you should have a little knot on the line. Now, do not move this. You wanna keep it right there. Now, what you should have is you should have your knot, and then on the other side from where you just tied it, you should have a leader line and the tag end of the leader line. So that tag end is right there, you can see that. And what I'm gonna do is do the exact same thing, but going the other direction. So I've got my knot right here, and I'm gonna tie another uni knot on with, this time with the leader line onto the main line. So I'm gonna take my tag end, make my loop, got my loop right here, and then I'm gonna take my tag end of my fluorocarbon and start wrapping, and make sure you are wrapping away from the previous knot you just made. So I'm gonna go here, go ahead and wrap it about 6 to 7 times. There we go. And again, once you've finished wrapping, you are just gonna make sure that that cinches down properly. And this time I am going to moisten it since I'm cinching with fluoro. So it's moistened, and then you are just gonna pull. And fluorocarbon is a little bit tougher to get to cinch down. So sometimes after pulling, I like to use my thumbs and kind of just work the knot together. Just kind of pull it together a little bit and just get it as tight as possible. You want this knot, for uni knot, double uni knots, you wanna make sure that it is a tight, small, thin knot so that it moves through your guides smoothly, all right? So after that, you should have something like this where you've got 2 knots connecting the line. So I've got a uni knot here, and I've got a uni knot right here, right? And now all you wanna do is you wanna moisten the line in between, and then you simply wanna grab the main line and the leader line separate from the 2 and just start pulling slowly. And what should happen is those 2 lines should start cinching together. And watch this. There they go, they're coming closer, and then boom, they just run into each other. Those 2 knots run into each other, and they form a double uni knot. So as you can see right there, I've got a braided uni knot here and a fluoro uni knot there, and they are going opposite directions, so they just run into each other, and then they have nowhere to go. And that's it, and you can cinch that knot down as tight as you want, and it's not going anywhere. And then simply cut your tag ends. Make sure you don't cut the main line. I've done that before. It is no fun. Another good tip when you're cutting a tag for braid, cut it about 1 centimeter off of the knot. With fluorocarbon and mono, you can cut it as close to the knot as you want and nothing will happen. But braid, braid can unravel a little bit on itself. So I like to cut it about 1 centimeter away from the knot just to make sure that it doesn't affect the quality of the knot. It doesn't matter if you have that little extra hanging out because braid is so flimsy that it will just run through the guide, no problem. But there you go. There is a double uni knot right there, and that is as strong as can be. I mean, you can pull that thing as hard as you want. Anytime I've broken off using a leader, it is never the uni knot that fails. It is always the leader line that breaks and fails, typically from an abrasion above the hook from the fish. So there it is, a double uni knot. I hope you all enjoyed today's video on the channel. I hope you learned how to tie a knot properly. I hope this video helps you when you go out there and try and go fishing for yourself. Let me know in the comments what video you'd like to see next. I'm thinking about making another video to this playlist, something that helps beginners with fishing, that can get you guys out in the water so you can start catching fish too. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next episode. And as always, stay